Today, we're going to tear into Dan Martell's Buyback Your Time. You know the type? The entrepreneur who's got the flashy success story on Instagram, but behind the scenes, they're just drowning. This is a playbook for them. So, where does a story like this, a story about clawing your life back, even begin? Well, it doesn't start in some fancy boardroom. Nope. It starts at the end of a high-speed police chase. This one sentence, that's rock bottom. And it's really the foundation for the entire idea in this book. It's this raw, unfiltered reminder that the road to success, yeah, it's not always pretty. So the big question is, how in the world did you go from a crashed car and a gun in a duffel bag to being a multimillionaire CEO and a coach to other founders? It sounds impossible, right? But this is Dan Martell's origin story. And what's wild is that it shows how the very same traits that got him thrown in jail, yeah, those were the exact things that later made him a killer entrepreneur. So his journey, it's a real roller coaster. You can see the pattern here. It all starts with this prison guard who asks him a simple question that just flips a switch. Suddenly, Martell discovers coding in rehab and falls in love with how predictable it is. I mean, it's the complete opposite of his chaotic childhood. He channels all that intense energy into what he calls a get shit done mentality. And it works. His businesses take off. But it comes at a huge cost. We're talking 18-hour workdays. It gets so bad that his fiancée just leaves him, drops the ring on the counter, and walks out. That's when he realizes the crazy paradox he's in. The exact same drives that built his entire career was completely wrecking his personal life. And here's the kicker. When he finally took a hard look at everything, he saw that his two failed businesses and his failed relationship, they all had one thing in common: him. More than that, it was his inability to just stop, to step back, to hand things off to other people, and to see that his life had value beyond just grinding and getting stuff done. But you know what? Dan's story isn't some one-off thing. So many founders fall into this trap. They literally build a prison for themselves out of their own success. And to really get what I mean, let's talk about another entrepreneur, a guy named Stuart. His story is, well, it's the perfect example of this whole hustle culture trap. So if you looked at Stuart from the outside, you'd think he was absolutely crushing it. I mean, 10 employees, a dozen apps, 640,000 people using his stuff every single day. By any measure, he was a huge success. But what was the cost? Oh man, we're talking 100-hour work weeks, regular panic attacks that got so bad he couldn't even get out of bed. And the breaking point? A full-on anxiety attack at Disneyland with his family. His business wasn't just demanding, it was literally killing him. See? Stuart bought into that classic lie that so many entrepreneurs tell themselves. If you want something done right, you got to do it yourself. So he was trading away his most precious, completely non-renewable resource, his time, on stuff that was just sucking the life out of him. And he forgot the one thing you can never, ever forget. You can always make more money, but you can never, ever get back a single second of lost time. So, how do you get out of this mess? Is there an escape hatch? How do you grow your company without also growing your own personal misery? Well, according to Martell, it all boils down to one huge, fundamental mindset shift. He calls it the Buyback Principle. And this is the question that just changes the entire game. For ever, the advice has always been hire people to grow your business, right? But Martell says that's totally backwards. That's a recipe for burnout because you're putting growth before your own freedom. He argues the main goal, the real goal, is something completely different. And here it is, this is the big idea. The number one reason you should hire someone, it's not to grow the business, it's to buy back your time. Let me say that again. You're not hiring for growth, you're hiring for freedom. The crazy thing is growth becomes the natural result, the byproduct of you finally having the space to focus on the stuff that actually moves the needle. Okay, so when you make this shift, it creates this incredible, powerful cycle. Here's how it works. Step 1, you use money to pay someone else to do all the low-value, soul-crushing tasks on your plate. Step 2, that frees you up. Now you can reinvest your time and energy into the high-value stuff that only you can do, the stuff you're actually good at. Step 3, that high-value work, guess what? It makes more money. And then step 4, you use that new money to buy back even more of your time. It just keeps going. It's a virtuous cycle that just keeps building on itself, giving you more freedom and more growth. But what if you don't do this? What if you just ignore it and keep grinding, thinking that hustle harder is the only answer? Well, you don't just get a little tired. You end up hitting this invisible ceiling, this wall that Martell calls the pain line. Now really think about this for a second. The pain line.
It's that exact point where you realize that for your business to grow, your personal pain, your stress, your workload also has to grow. And let's be honest, who willingly signs up for more pain? Nobody. So without even knowing it, you start to subconsciously sabotage your own business to stop it from happening. You put the brakes on your own success. And when founders hit this pain line, they almost always self-destruct in one of three predictable ways. First, they sell. They just get so burned out, they sell the business to escape the pain. Second, they sabotage it. They'll make these crazy, irrational decisions, like suddenly launching a new product that just knock the business back down to a size that feels manageable again. Or third, they stall. They just consciously decide, okay, we're not growing anymore, which, in today's market is basically a slow death.
So let's go back to Stuart, our guy who was having panic attacks at Disneyland. What happened when he finally got this? The results are, honestly, they're staggering. In less than a year, his company's revenue tripled. His personal income doubled. But the real win, the thing that actually matters, his panic attacks, gone. Poof. He didn't just make his company bigger, he literally bought his life back.
And the math that proves this out, it's shockingly simple. Stuart did the calculation. He figured out his time, his high-value work, was worth about $100 an hour to his business. But he was spending a ton of his day doing tasks he could easily pay someone else $10 an hour to do. Just think about that. For every hour he spent on that $10 task, he wasn't saving $10, he was actively costing his company $90. He was literally just setting money on fire.
And that really brings us to the core lesson of this whole thing. Your time isn't just something you spend, it's an asset you invest. When you cling to those low-value tasks, you're not being frugal, you're not saving money, you are actively losing it. So the most important question you have to ask yourself is this: what's one task you're doing right now that is costing you money every single time you do it? Figuring that out, well, that's the very first step to buying back your time and maybe even your life.